What's up, guys? Coach Vassar, thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you have any feedback, let me know. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. We're going to break down Sunday, August 3rd. This will repeat Tuesday, the 19th. We're going to see power on the treads, strength on the weight floor, 2G, no rowing. On the 3G, you're going to see power on the rowers. So we'll break down the 2G, break down the 3G, and then get you on out of here. So on the 2G side today, we're going to see one 23-minute tread block with 6 push to all-out pairs. Pushes get shorter each round, and your all-outs are always 30 seconds each. Try to maintain or increase the all-out each round. There's no rowing today in the 2G. On the floor, you're going to see 2 blocks, work on 2 exercises for 2 rounds, then put it all together. Just as a heads up for the key concepts for the 3G, the rower, you're going to see 3 shots at each distance. Can you get faster each time? All right, so looking at the treadmills, as I said, it's a 23-minute tread block. And what we're going to see is 6 rounds of a push, all out, 90-second walk recovery. The push will start at 3 minutes, and then it will decrease by 30 seconds every round. So 3 minutes, 2.5, 2, 90, 1 minute, 30 seconds. And then there is a bonus all out at the very end. So in total, they're going to see 7 30-second all outs. The goal today is to maintain the push intensity and maintain or increase the all out intensity. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the daily beat does say for them to maintain the push intensity. But if you obviously look at the template, power walker inclines do go up. Okay. And once again, that's just to kind of reflect the fact that it is a shorter duration over time. So by the time the incline gets up, it's just to help get them to their all-out incline, especially on that 1 minute and the 30-second effort. All right. So they're going to start off with that 3-minute push. Power walkers are 4% or greater. Joggers and runners, anywhere from 1 to 2 over your base speed. Bikes and striders, keep it simple. 3 gears over base every time. And then when they hit that first all-out, 2 or more over their base, 10% or greater, 6 gears above base, and hold steady with that. With them having 3.5 minutes of work, heart rate's going to be elevated pretty high. So they're going to probably need that full 90-second walk recovery on the other side. Every round, as they maintain the push and try to maintain or increase the all out, the walk recovery will be either still needed or not needed as much. So if they increase the all out, they'll probably need to take the full 90 every time. But if they try to maintain, because the first interval gets shorter, it's easier. They're not going to be as fatigued, at least for rounds 2 and 3. By the time they hit round 4, round 5, round 6, just the cumulative fatigue of the whole thing, their heart rate will probably stay pretty elevated, as they're not able to flush out that lactic buildup as efficiently as when they first start. So as far as like the bikes and striders, nothing too fancy with them. I would just keep them the same push gear. And when it comes to power output for the wattage, obviously if they go too high on gear, their RPMs are going to drop, which means they are going to see a power decrease. So if anything, try to keep the gear the same, but see if they can increase the RPMs to generate power, especially with it only being 30 seconds. With these 90-second recoveries, great opportunity to obviously check in on the weight floor, but also talk about the OT beat and the benefit of these peaks and valleys. Now, when we look at the weight floor, we're going to see strength work on both blocks. 12 minutes for block 1, 90-second recovery, which will take place after the 3rd round of work on the weight floor, and then a 9.5-minute block. Both weight floor blocks are going to be set up with a 2-round work and rest, and then a 2-movement work and rest that will repeat on till we call time. So in block 1, we're going to see a basic body dumbbell lateral lunge, 6 on one leg, 6 on the other, rest, and then a single leg balance bicep curl. 6 reps with both arms on one leg, 6 with the other leg. They'll complete those 2 movements for 2 rounds. So lunge, curl, lunge, curl. And then on the second half of the block, they're going to combine those together to make one exercise. So they'll do a lateral lunge, balance bicep curl, 6 one direction, 6 the other direction. They'll rest, and then they'll go on to a new movement, the strap bridge row, 6 reps. They should need to rest after each one. So especially with that strap bridge row, emphasize time under tension, really slow and controlled, at a minimum 2 counts down, 2 counts back up, and really try to keep tension on that strap the entire time. with the way it's kind of set up, if they go heavy enough and they need that recovery, the first 2 rounds of that work and rest should probably take about 3 to 5 minutes, which will give them plenty of time for that construct and strep movement. We're going to repeat those two until you call time at the 12-minute mark. Block 2 is set up the same way. We're going to see a front squat for 6 reps and then an alternating shoulder press for 6 total, 3 per side. They'll rest 2 rounds of that. And then for the construct, they will do a front squat and then press on each arm for 1 rep. They'll have 6 of those. So they're still going to complete 6 squats and then a total of 6 reps on each arm for that alternating shoulder press combo. And that's going to pair up with a strap low plank single leg knee raise. So they're going to do 6 with one leg, 6 with the other, all about stability through the obliques and the QL as they are in the forearms with the straps. Of course, if that's really tough, they could do like a regular low plank single leg knee drive, or from like a high plank position. If you have the benches out, they could do forearms on the bench, hands on the bench, a couple different ways to mix it up on that. Their recommendation as far as like an option, they just of course say step away from the anchor point. Now their finisher is going to be the squat to press. So dumbbells will start at the down position of the squat and then drive and explode up. That way they get a little bit of power work before they go to the treadmills. If they started on the floor, if they started on the treadmills, then it's just opportunity to kind of spike that heart rate one more time before it's the end of the workout. That's the 2G. Very simple, very tough, but a good opportunity to get strong on the weight floor, and of course be powerful and fast on the treads. Now for the 3G, we're going to see one long block for all 3 sections of the room. On the treads, we are going to see just 4 rounds of the work, and it's actually the same amount of work as in the 2G. So round 1, 3-minute push, 30-second all out. But now they only get 1 minute to walk between each round of work. 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and the 4th and final round is a 90-second push. So they'll see 4 all-outs total with a 1-minute walk recovery between each round. In all honesty, with them having less walk recoveries, they'll probably need the full minute to walk, especially with round 3 being 2.5 minutes. So you have 3.5, 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes of work. They'll probably need that full minute of rest if they are truly performing at that very uncomfortable intensity for the all-outs. When we look at the rowers, we're going to see a 200-meter all-out row, rack and rest, 3 times. So 200, rest, 200, rest, 200, rest. And then they have 2 weighted exercises. The first one is going to be the alternating reverse lunge hold to angled press. So they'll step back into that reverse lunge, press up at a 45-degree angle. They'll stand up, they switch to the other side while in that down position, hit the next rep. 10 total, 5 per leg. And that's going to be paired up with the tricep extension for 10 reps. Then they go back to the rower, and now it's going to be 150 meters for 3 rounds. And then the weighted exercise. And then, of course, the 3rd round will be with 100-meter all-out rows. After the 3rd round through all of that, and they've done the weighted exercises for a total of 3 sets, their bonus is to do a 50-meter all-out row, rack and recover until the finisher. So of course, no stored programs for that 50 meters. So just tap new interval, crank out those 50-meter all-outs, probably like 15 seconds or less, rack those handles, rest, do it again. If they truly do these longer all-outs correctly, they're very unlikely to get many rounds of that bonus or even get to that bonus. Okay. When we look at the weight floor, it's going to be the 2 blocks, but combined. They're going to have those 2 rounds of those 2 movements first. So lateral lunge, balance bicep curl for 2 rounds, front squat, alternating shoulder press for 2 rounds. And then on repeat, they'll do the 2 constructed exercises. So lateral lunge, balance bicep curl, rest, front squat, alternating shoulder press, rest, and then repeat those. So they don't have to do any strap exercises in the 3G. And then the finisher is going to be that same dumbbell squat to press. Looking forward to doing this one. Once again, Sunday, August 3rd. We'll repeat on Tuesday, the 19th. Any feedback, please let me know. Otherwise, coach you down.